Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. I will present my screen in just 1 second, okay? Just so that you can all see. Okay. I think it's all good now. Welcome, everyone. I don't know where you guys are speaking from. We are in Brazil, so good afternoon if you are in Brazil or in similar time zones. But good morning if you're in PST time. And thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to talk about Pipesign today. Okay, so it's a very important subject. It's a very complete and thorough and brand new resource that we have, brand new feature that we have in Pipefy. All right. So I didn't want to be on my own for this one. I wanted to invite a specialist to come talk to me about this particular feature, to explain a little bit about basically why we created this feature, how does it work, some of the main topics regarding security regarding this feature, okay? And he's going to talk about pricing as well. So a full-on specialist here with us. Thank you so much for joining us, Luis.
Thanks, Fee. Hello, everyone. So welcome. Hope you all are excited with this our new feature, new launch, and let's talk about Pipesign. That's a great topic to discuss today.
Amazing. So, guys, I think everyone who was in line here was able to join us. So I will get started, okay? And I will introduce here myself and Luis, just like I mentioned. And afterwards, I will cover some of the main questions that you may have regarding this webinar structure, this masterclass structure, all right? So I do recognize some names here that joined us for past master classes and even for the last year's webinars as well. So welcome. I'm glad to see you guys here again. My name is Fernanda. I am the global product trainer here at Pipefy. And Luis, who just introduced himself, he is the product marketing specialist. Okay. So we are both going to talk about Pipesign today. But before we get started, I wanted to clear out some of the main topics here on your Zoom page. Okay, so on the masterclass here, we have the Q&A button on your screen, right? So you're going to use that button if you have any questions regarding our product, regarding Pipesign. So just send them through the Q&A, and we will make sure that all of your questions are answered. Okay. Our chat is also open to all of you. So if you have any issues, if you want to talk about anything in particular, you can send it through the chat. But I do ask that particularly questions, you do send it through the Q&A button. Okay. And this masterclass is always also being recorded. So if you subscribe to the training, right? So you're here because you subscribe to the training, you will receive an email with this recording, okay? And something that I want to make it clear to everyone because previously in other classes that I sent to you guys, you not all of you realized that this was an option, okay? So when I send the recording, it's in a link for our Pipefy Academy. So you can watch the recording of the masterclass again and get a certificate. So the certificate will be particularly for a pipe sign training, a pipe sign masterclass for 1 hour, right? Which is the time that we have here today. And it will be very important for you to show at your company, for your teammates, so that you can show them that you spent this hour of your work, of your routine, learning something new about Pipefy that hopefully will add a lot of value to your operation. Okay? All right, perfect. So now I am going to call Luis so that we can get started with our Pipesign masterclass.
Thanks, Fee. So hello, everyone again. So I'm Luis Eifler, as Fee said. I'm from the product marketing team. I'm at Pipefy for almost 7 years now, and I would like to contextualize you why we're launching Pipesign and what are the Pipefy objectives with that. So basically, Pipefy has almost 10 years now. We were born in 2015, and our product changed a lot since then. So we're changing every semester, every year. We're always trying to improve the product, trying to improve our service, because we basically what Pipefy really wants, Pipefy really has as an objective are these three main topics here. So Pipefy, not only as a tech provider, as a software, but as a partner of our customers, we always want to increase the team's efficiency, teams of our customers' efficiency, give autonomy to non-technical teams, and eliminate manual and repetitive tasks. So basically, everything that goes towards these directions here, Pipefy will analyze, will try to improve, will try to implement new features, new products that will help our customers. So this is our basically our mission as a partner, as a tech partner of our customers. And when we analyzed how our customers were using Pipefy and some gaps of our product, one of them was this part of the e-signature and e-signature tool, because we didn't have earlier on, like until last year, and now we saw last year and we prioritized it because we saw that we could add a lot of value to our customers adding this feature, adding this product, and that's what we're launching today. This year we have already launched it in beta, but now we're launching to the whole uh, customer base. So basically, we have this new product to add value to your routine, to add value to everyone that now can sign any contract, any document within Pipefy. Please go ahead, Pete. Thanks. So basically now what Pipefy looks like. So last year, you probably already know that Pipefy has already launched the AI feature. So Pipefy has AI embedded to our product. And Pipefy now is an agent platform. So we at Pipefy, you can add your business rules, your no-code automation that you can easily build, your proprietary data. And last year with the AI, we added this cognitive reasoning layer. So we basically added a brain here that can we transformed the workflow platform into an intelligent workflow platform. So Pipefy now is an agent platform. You can easily build your HR agent, finance agent, support agent, legal, and many more use cases that you can use Pipefy's agents into your routine. And we keep with our orchestration layer here as well. So Pipefy can easily integrate with many different platforms outside Pipefy. So you can pull information to Pipefy, you can bring information from other software, or basically running all these workflows, all these information flows easily in an easy way. And one of these platforms that we you can now integrate is Pipesign. It's already there, but now I'm just making sure you all can see it. So we have now Pipesign, our e-signature platform within Pipefy, powered by Pipefy. And talking about Pipesign, so just like to give you some reasons why you should use it in your pipe. So using Pipesign into adding that into your pipe, you can have a more complete workflow in general, basically, because now you have a seamless experience to sign a contract, to sign a document, all in a single platform, in a no-code platform. That's important to add. You will have a more organized way to centralize your documents, centralize your contracts, because you can just go to that pipe and you can search for maybe a contract that you signed last year, 2 years ago. I don't know. You can search for this document in the card. It's already there for audit as well. So it's super easy to find documents, to be organized, all in one platform. It's more affordable as well. So you have flexible plans. I will talk about later on about it. But basically, you have flexible plans that without any surprises, you can you'll see some differentiators that we have here on our pricing as well. And in less times, as I said, we had already launched this feature in beta for a couple of customers, maybe 10 customers around that. And we asked them after, like, made a survey after they implemented, and many of them were telling, "Oh, I had a contract that used to take us, I don't know, 2 weeks to be signed, and now it's in less than 2 days." So we're adding efficiency to our customers here. We're adding efficiency to the workflow in general. We have less manual work, as I said. It's easy to build. So for non-technical teams, going to that direction that I said earlier on. And the best use case that we're seeing with our customer base for HR, recruiting and onboarding, like to accept an offer, in the legal processes, contracts and legal terms, in purchasing, in sales, in marketing, and many more. Basically, whenever you need to sign a document, to sign a contract, Pipesign will help you. So we'll show in a couple of minutes how to do it, and probably you want to see in practice, right? But before we go into the demo part, just would like to add here as well, like if this electronic signature is legally valid or not, how that does that work? So basically, in Pipesign, we have three main components to accept to be legally valid this signature, right? So the first one is that you can go, you will send this signature, this document for signature through email. So you have already the person need to access that email, open the link, and then sign the document. Also, the second part is that we collect personal information. So the signer, this person needs to put their name, maybe the date of birth if you want. So you can put these steps to extra layers of validation as well. And the third one is that you can add that to the contract, the connection and device information, such as IP address, geolocation, some data that will confirm that the person who signed is the person who should be signing that document as well. And we have some extra layers of validation that Faye will show you in the demo part. But basically, I would just like to show you that this is e-signature platform, legally valid, and so on. And if you have any questions regarding security, any questions regarding this topic, please send us here in the Q&A that we'll cover at the end of this session, okay? But now I will stop talking about the pipe sign here, but now we'll show you how it works. And now I'll call you again, Faye. You're the best person to show everyone how it works.
All right, let's get to the good part then. But I'm pretty sure that you all were able to understand a little bit more about our main objectives here with Pipesign. Again, like Luis said, and like I said at the beginning of the class, I know that more people joined us here. If you have any questions, guys, about Pipesign, about Pipefy as a whole, just send us through the Q&A button. All right, and at the end of the class today, we'll cover it all. So let's do this. 1 second, guys. Let me just here. Perfect. So you can all see here my example pipe. Okay, so this is a contract management pipe, and we have here already some advanced use cases for Pipesign. All right. But I first want to show you the difference between this pipe here, in which I already have the pipe sign enabled, right? And this one here, which I basically just created. I asked our AI to create this pipe, all right? So it's legal contract drafting, and we don't even have real cards created. We only have sample cards here, right? So this is a brand new pipe, and we can see here that there is no option for a pipe sign app here, right? So what is the difference? How can I enable it? All that you have to do is go on these 9 dots here, right below, right next to edit pipe, right? Between integration and edit pipe. So these here are our tools for the pipe, right? Some things may be a little hidden within the pipe, but I always advise you to explore. If you are an admin of a pipe, you should be able to explore every single feature that you can see, just so that you cover all of the possible value that you can add here to your operation, all right? So if you click on tools, you will see apps here right at the beginning, okay? So if you click on apps, you have some options available for you here, okay? I will just wait for it to load, but you will soon be able to see the pipe sign option here, okay? Let me just reload the page here, see if it's quicker. So let's do again. 1 second. Oh, no, here. Here it is, the tools. All right. Sometimes it's in a different place, but it's basically the same function. All right. So now we can see the apps. We have here a lot of options that we can enable inside of our pipe, right? Right next to importer, which I'm sure most of you already seen, most of you have already perhaps been able to explore, we have here the pipe sign. Okay, so you can click on it, and we have here a few screenshots, and right below we have an explanation and some of the key features. All right, like this, all of this, Luis just explained it to you, right? And Luis even gave you some extra layers of information in which we all know, for example, about the electronic signature and so on. Okay, so you can just click here on enable. Once you do that, the Pipesign app is already available to you, just like it is in our advanced case, all right? So the document generator is also another app. So once you enable some apps, they will be available to you here, right below, right next to the dashboards, emails, and so on. So if you click on Pipesign here, 1 second. We can see that it's a brand new page, right? We don't have any documents here. Now, let's go back to our advanced case, in which we will be able to see a lot more documents, okay? So these are all documents that we have sent in this pipe, okay? So we have here the name of the document, the status, the signatories, right? So the people who actually signed those documents, and the date of creation, all right? But first, I will explore some of the main settings here, okay? I would also like to make it very clear to everyone that in this particular feature right here, you have open help article, right? If you click on it, it will direct you to our Pipesign article in our help center, okay? And this can be really useful. We have here the key features, just like Luis explained, and we have here a step-by-step on how to enable, how to use, how to create a document, and we even have some tips on how to be a little more advanced with Pipesign, using, for example, Workato and automations and so on, okay? So it can be a very thorough document for you to explore, all right? We also have here a feedback option, right? So this feature, like Luis said, is particularly new. So last year was on beta. Now it's released to all of you, but we would still love to hear feedbacks on this feature regarding your use case. So if you click here, it will direct you to a form to our product team. All right, so that will be very helpful to us. So this page here is the documents, right? But we can also go on settings. So perhaps, for example, if I go here on Kanban, this pipe is bilingual, you could say. So you might see some things that are in Portuguese and some things that are in English. I use this pipe to basically showcase Pipesign to all of our customers, whether they are from Brazil or other countries. So you can see here that I can do that because in Pipesign, I can change the language, all right? So in personal information first, you have here the information that I am in Brazil, so the country here is Brazil. I am in the São Paulo time zone, right? And the date format, I use the style that is followed in Brazil. So the format that we are used to here, the day, month, and then year, right? But the language is in English because right now I'm showcasing this feature in English, right? But if I want to edit here, I can change the country, I can change the language to English or Portuguese, and I can change the time zone as well, okay? And of course the format, if I want it to be month, day, and year. And soon you'll be able to see that I can change that for my particular user here in Pipesign, right? In the pipe itself, or I can change that according to the document. So I'm from Brazil. I can use any language, in particular, of course, Portuguese or English in my user. But in a document, I can change the time zone. I can change the particular language. I can change the date format as well. So soon you'll be able to see that. Okay. I have here my signature appearance. So that's my name and how that signature goes. Okay. And in the appearance, I can change here how it will be customizable to appear to, of course, the person who will be able to sign the document. So I can change here, of course, the email template, the title, how to send that message to the person, and even the color that will appear in the email, right? So like view the document, I can change the color of this button as well, right? I can also add here a particular header image. So this is the email that will be sent to the person who needs to sign the document, right? So the signature email. I can also change here the notifications, right, that I receive if I sign or if I receive the document. And I have here more advanced features, right? Soon I'll be able to explain to you what this API is all about, okay? But let's get to the basics first, guys. I will first show you really quickly a document that has already been created, all right? And then we'll create a new document here together, okay? So this offer here, it's processing. Okay, so it's just a model here, but you can see that this is my name, Fernanda, right? So the creator, Fernanda, with this email, so this is my Pipefy email, so my corporate email, right? I created this document and I sent it to myself. Okay, so I sent it to the Fernanda who is not corporate, right? So my personal email. And I have here all of the signatories that were mandatory, which in this case were only myself, right? So I sent it to me. So here is the whole history, right? I have here the date that I signed the document, when I opened the email, and so on, right? So the history is also here in further details, okay? So we have here better information. So for example, I know that all of this happened in one day. Okay, so this all happened on February 20th. So here, of course, the email was viewed, then the document was signed. I'm sorry, goes back here, right? The document was viewed, it was created, the email was sent, received, viewed, signed, and so on. So we have all of the steps here as well. Okay, and you can see the information that I wanted to receive from this signatory. So, for example, the document was signed by, this is my whole name, this is my email address, and my IP. And this is my document here from Brazil, like an ID in Brazil, right? So you can validate every information that you want to receive from that person, okay? And once I have that document here, I have some options. I can download the file. I can resend it to the signatories that I determined. I can change the document. I can edit, right? And of course, I have more, like I said, advanced options here regarding to webhook that is related to integrations, all right? So later on, I will cover that really quickly, okay? Let's go back to documents so that we can create a new one so that I can explain to you how that setting works. All right. And remember, guys, you can send your questions to the Q&A button. Okay. Let's go here. So we have the jurisdiction and the language, right? So this is first where we establish the country where we're from, or of course, we need to consider to whom we are sending the document to, right? And the language here. In this case, let's leave it in English. Okay. Let's drag the document. I don't have any templates to follow, okay? But you can add a template here of a document, which is basically, you can think of as a PDF generator, and you can create your own template here, right? But let's drag one document here. Let's do the offer, the one that we just showed, okay? But in this case, I don't have any signatures yet. So right here, I need to establish the signers. So these are the people who will sign the document, and I can add as many as I want, okay? So here I can add, like I said, my own personal email here, right? And I can add new ones as well. So for example, if I want to send this particular offer, this document, to myself, the personal email, and to Luis, for example, I can add both emails here, right? So let me put Luis's email here. So this is his corporate email, right? I can send it to both of us randomly, right? Or I can send it in order. So if I click with order, then that means that it will first be sent to Fernanda, to the personal Fernanda, right? And Fernanda needs to sign the document so that later on Luis can receive it, right? So once Fernanda signs it, Luis will receive it. This is what the order means, okay? If I send it with no order randomly, then Luis will receive the document just like I will, and he doesn't really rely on me signing it beforehand so that he could sign it, right? So that depends on your main objective, okay? You can also add yourself to this list. In this case, myself would be corporate, Fernanda. All right. And here we have some settings as well. Okay. So you can choose how you will send this particular document. It can be my email, it can be with a signature link, it can be by SMS, and it can be by WhatsApp. All right. So WhatsApp is very common here in Brazil, but for example, in the US, we know the SMS can be a bigger difference. So this is all available without any integration. You can just simply choose how you will send this document. Okay. You can also determine the role here of each person, right? So for example, the Fernanda personal account, I want her to sign. But Luis, I want him to approve, or I want him to recognize or witness, and so on. Okay. So we have different roles for different use cases, for different legal purposes as well. Okay. And here we have the show more options, okay? We have three main validations for this signature, okay? The first one being require SMS validation, okay? So in this case, the signatory will need to validate a phone number through a code that will be sent by SMS. So you can fill in the number or leave it blank if, of course, if you don't know the signatory number, okay? So in this case, the person who is going to sign it can provide this on this number, all right? Again, my country here is Brazil. So the first flag that showed up was Brazil, but I can change it to another country and the format will change as well, okay? I can also require a photo ID document. Okay. So also I want to highlight here that you can just go through with your mouse pad, with your mouse in front of any title here, any feature, that we will show you a tiny explanation of what this is about. All right, so this is a very good way for you to learn a little bit about all of these options. We have here that the signatory will need to attach a photo ID document, and of course, we have other options, okay? So here we have the manual approval, we have the photo ID document, we have plus photo ID document, we have selfie and proof of life, and we have one that's from the Brazilian government, okay? So let me go through these three first ones at least, okay? So we have the manual approval, which is basically the person who's going to sign it. It will attach a photo ID document, okay? So you or any member of the organization can approve or reject those documents manually, okay? And we have these other ones that have this extra layer of validation, all right? So this is an additional validation credit. Some of those procedures require that on Authentic, they're a little more expensive. So they require further cost and further information so that we can validate these extra steps of security, all right? But the manual approval is within Pipesign already. So the photo doc, what's the difference, right? The ID document will need, the person will need to attach a front and back of the photo ID document, right? So either through the phone or through a computer, but it's a document validation that doesn't require any manual approval, all right? And the second one here is a little it requires more information than just the photo ID document. So the person needs to take a selfie with their phone and perform a proof of life. Okay, so again, this document will be automatically compared to the selfie so that we have this extra layer, extra degree, right, of security. And the SERPRO, like I said, is for the Brazilian government. So considering that we most likely don't have any Brazilians here at the call, the main topics that you should cover are these three ones. All right, so you can analyze which one will be more appropriate, and will, of course, add the necessary security that your document needs. Right. And in this case here, we have an option for the CPF, which is also, like I said, the Brazilian document. Okay, so we have some steps of the security that is specific to Brazil. All right. So this is how you'll be able to make a very individual and very detailed the types of information and the type of security that this signatory will need to provide. All right. And here you can enable the qualified electronic signature, right? Which is something that Luis covered as well. So in this case, if you do enable it, all signatories will need to sign the document using the digital certificate, right, issued by a keychain in your respective country. Again, an extra layer of security. All right. So let's see here. I won't require any validation in this case for myself, okay? But just so that I could show you, you can also hide these options. So let's leave it at random order and go to the next one. I can see here that I have the two signatories, right? So the two people who will sign the document. Of course, one will sign and the other will approve because I changed the roles, right? But I have here some of their attributes, okay? So I have the signature, I have the initials, I have the name, the document in Brazil, and the date, right? So I can choose one of these particular attributes and place it wherever I want within that document. So if the signature is here, I can add this field here. And of course, this is kind of like drag and drop, but basically you can leave it wherever you want within your document. Okay, so you can place it here, for example. And if I want Luis, just his name, not necessarily his signature, I can place it next to it. I can place it below it. All right. So you need to take that into account if you want that person's signature, that person's whatever validation information it is in a particular place within your document. Okay. If you don't choose to put it anywhere in specific, it will be at the end of the document or in the second page. So it will either be in the blank page, or it will add an extra page so that because you didn't actually place it in one specific place here in the document. Okay. So that of course is up to you. We also have some additional settings. So we have here the document name. The name, I put it as offer within my computer. So in Pipesign, that was kind of like the name came with it, right? But we can change that. We have the message to the signatories. So again, in that settings, when I showed you the personal appearance and everything that you could change, so that appearance was in regards to the model of the email that goes to the person who will be signing the document. This one is in particular to this document, right? So you can be a like, for example, more specific message regarding what this person needs to do regarding this document. Okay. The archive, that just means basically the pipe that it's in. All right. And now we have here, for example, the appearance. We have a lot of other settings here. So I would just go through it by one. Okay. So here I can actually specify if the appearance here will be signature only. So that means that the signature field will only contain the signatory's signature appearance, right? Or if it will have a data field. Well, so basically extra informations here, right? So this is in beta, okay? Again, everything that is in beta means it's still being developed. So it can be a little tricky if you have any errors, if you come across any errors. But this is what our feedback here is for as well. Okay. You could also have the opportunity here to enable the electronic authentication marks, again, in regards to security, all right? And position it as well. Um, you also have the possibility to force the signature appearance, okay? So this is all related to how that signature will come across in the document. The emails, you can, of course, enable here the document completion notification. So that means that an email will be sent to each of these people who signed it. It will be sent to each one of them when all document signatures are completed, right? So, for example, if I sign it, I need to wait for Luis to sign it, and then I will receive that email letting me know that everyone who had to sign this document already did. Okay, and will also contain the link so that I can access the document when it's finally completed with all the signatures. I also have the opportunity here to send the email to the signatory when they sign, right? So this is usually enabled because I think it's a very common use case, right? So whenever we sign a document, we want to make sure that it's correct, right? That we want to make sure that the person who sent us the document actually realize that it's signed, right? So we want that confirmation. So the email will be sent to the signatory notifying them that we have just signed that document, okay? Again, containing the link to access it. And here I can determine which email addresses will receive an email with this document link, okay? So copied. So I can add, for example, a manager, a director, so that they have received that signed document as well as the reply to, okay? So we can determine which email addresses will receive the responses to this particular email. Let me just cover here. We can enable reminders, so we can either enable the signature reminder or the expiration reminder, right? So in this case, the signature reminder means that daily or weekly reminders will be sent to the signatories added by email, just reminding them that they need to sign that document, okay? So it can either be like daily or weekly, or of course, again, until 7 reminders have been sent. Okay, so of course, the person cannot ignore all of these reminders. Okay. Again, if you enable reminders, it is mandatory that rejection is also enabled, so that the signatories stop receiving reminders if of course they refuse to sign it. Okay. And the expiration one. So the document creator will be notified in advance if, of course, the document is expired in a particular date. Okay. So again, if you enable this, you have the option to choose the frequency. Okay. And here you have the option of the expiration. So you can be reminded in particular times, in days, and here we have the expiration dates. All right. And we have the other settings. We have here do not require the CPF, which is the Brazilian document. We can allow the document rejection. Again, this needs to be enabled if we are sending those reminders to people, to the ones that need to sign. We can prevent others from signing after the rejection, right? So if they choose to reject it, then it will be prevented from them to sign, okay? So we can also block the document after a particular deadline. So that means that the document doesn't need to have an expiration date, but you can have a specific deadline for each signatory as well, okay? You can require the viewing of the entire document. This is also in beta, but this is one of our main features in Pipesign. I'm sure all of you have signed a terms and conditions page, right? A form, and in which you had to scroll to the very last page, to the very last line of that document, just so they need to make sure that you read everything. Most likely, when it comes to terms and conditions, we have not read everything. However, we have signed that we are in terms with that particular condition that they establish, right? And one extra security layer that they add to it, most websites add to it, is that they have required that we should scroll down to the very last page of that document because it means that we at least viewed every page that there is to view. Okay. And we can also maintain the signatories data updated, right? So that means that you won't, for example, send a document to an email that no longer exists or is being used, right? Which is also in beta. And here we finally have the location. Okay, so the time zone that you want to take into account when sending this document and the date format as well. Okay, and then we'll just send for signature. All right, so the document was created and successfully sent. I'm sure that Luis has received that. Okay, I have his document here. I have his date of birth. I have everything here, right? So I have the steps here as well. So the email is still being sent. Soon we'll be able to receive it. I've actually just received it here, right? So I just saw it on my phone. So this will be updated very soon, and I have here the update for everyone and the history here as well. Okay. Oh my God, Luis has just viewed our document. This is fantastic. So Luis has just been able to consider our offer. Let's see if he takes into account. All right.
I have
So here
already
we
approved, Fê.
Awesome. That's great. So Luis approved before Fernanda, before personal Fernanda, right? So the corporate Fernanda won't be very happy about that, but at least we know that we didn't put any orders. So Luis didn't really depend on that personal Fernanda to sign it. He just approved it, right? And now Fernanda will sign the document as soon as she's able to see it, okay? So we have here the history. So we have the document creation, the email that was sent, the email that was received, right? So I've received, Luis viewed it, and Luis, of course, signed it, right? Like he said. So we have all of those steps here as well. Okay. So guys, I think that's it for in relations to what I wanted to show you. But again, the Q&A is open. All right. So please leave your questions for us over there. We'll try our best to cover them here. But hopefully you already saw the value that Pipesign can add to many use cases in Pipefy. All right. Let me just drink some water and I will get to the more advanced step. Okay. All right, let's do this. We saw here in settings that we have the access, the webhooks, and the access to the API, right? I won't cover webhooks as much. Later on, you can ask us particular questions about what does that mean. This is a little more advanced, all right? But the API is more necessary if you want to automate Pipesign, okay? So let me just go back to our presentation here. Basically, I have an example of automation with Workato, right? So this is an iPaaS platform, okay? So that we can send, for example, we can send the contract for signature as soon as a card reaches the signature phase, right? So what does that mean? Pipesign works today here in our, oops, sorry, it's here. In our pipe, right? Natively, it works natively. You can, of course, like I showed you, you are able to see and use this feature without any knowledge of code. Okay. However, if you do want to automate it, if you want to, for example, send a document or receive a signed document according to a specific trigger. So, like I mentioned here, when the card goes to the signature phase or when a field is updated. So, if you want Pipesign to work according to a specific trigger, then you do need an integration for that to happen. All right. And the integration that we have today is in Workato. Okay. So we have two recipes here that are ready to go. You just need to edit certain things, okay? So the recipe is ready here, right? You just need to add an extra touch. You will add your own sauce to this recipe, right? But it's all good to go. What you need to edit is, for example, your pipe in your organization. And for that, you need to have a Workato login, right? So you need to have an account in Workato. If you don't, and if you are interested in automating this Pipesign, these abilities, right, these opportunities with Pipesign, soon you will be able to let us know that you are interested in doing so, and we will reach out to you. Okay. And I won't go into this very further because I know that it can be a little complicated for those who are not yet aware of how an integration works. But I have here a step by step, okay? And at the beginning of the class, I don't know if you all were here for that, but I told you that you will receive the recording for this class. Along with the recording, I will send it to you also this particular presentation. Okay, so you will be able to have access to all of this content and you can copy all of these step by step so that this recipe is all good for you to use. Okay. Basically, we just need to add our organization, our pipe in which we are going to automate Pipesign, okay? And of course, we need to select the trigger. So we have here this trigger is move card in Pipefy. So in this case, is move card to a particular phase. But like I said, I can use different triggers, right? So like I said, here organization, the pipe, and I can add another. You can add it here, and you can add another trigger, right? So when the card is expired, when the card is done, when you need to update a field. So you have many triggers here to use. Okay. And you will also need to use the token. Where can you get that token? In the API, right? So settings, access API, and you can have your generate token. I already have an active token because it's already been created. But if you are new to Pipesign, if you are just enabling now through tools, okay, like I said, it can be between integration and edit pipe, or it can stay here in the beginning, but it's in the apps option, right? So if you do enable that, you don't have a token yet. So you can generate the token, you will copy and paste here in another step of this recipe, okay? And basically, after you will just test this automation. And like I said, very easy steps and it will already work. All right. So if you do want to automate Pipesign, you can do so with Workato. Okay. So guys, I will call Luis again so that he can explain a little bit about how much does it cost to use Pipesign. And again, in the meanwhile, you can send your questions through the Q&A button. Thank you.
Perfect, Fee. Thanks. So I saw a question here about the subscription and if it's included or not. So first of all, you any Pipefy customer who has an active account, paid account, you have already 10 documents per month to use Pipesign. So it's already included in your plan and you can use it. When you reach 10 documents or more, right? Your account will be blocked until the next month. So it's already included. You can use, you can start using and test the product. But if you need more than 10 documents per month, then we have the add-on of Pipesign. And how much does it cost? So this is the question that you're probably asking yourselves. So first of all, I would just like to, the price is already there, but I would just like to explain you how this price looks like. First of all, Pipesign, we charge based on documents signed and not documents sent for signing. Okay, so if you send 200 documents that month, but you only received 100 signed documents, you would need to pay only for the 100 and not for 200 that you sent. Okay, so this is the first thing that I would like to add here. The second one is that Fair has already said about it, but explain it. But basically, you can send through email, SMS, or WhatsApp without it's already included in the price. You will not need to add pay more or have an add-on about that. Okay. And then about the price per document, we charge exactly the number of documents you would like to send to sign. So the minimum that we have is 100 documents per month. But if you need, I don't know, 150 or 250, something like that, we would just adjust this price per document. That is 67 cents of dollar cents per document, and you would need to multiply the number that you need, the number of documents you will need to sign that month. So that's it. So it's super easy, the price. So if I need the first package here 100, it would cost 67 dollars per month for me. And but we're launching this product now, so we have some special offers depending on the quantity, the level of documents you want to send, you want to have, and then we have some discounts. So if you are interested in knowing better for your case how much it will cost, just let us know here. We have a survey at the end of this session, and we can contact you and we can have a discount for your specific case. Okay. So that's basically what I'd like to cover here. I don't know if you have any questions about pricing. If you have, please send us here on the Q&A button as well. But guess I answered the question from Diego that Diego sent on the chat here about the subscription, if it's already included or not. So again, you have 10 documents per month that it's already included. If you need more, then you can add starting on the 100 documents per month. Okay, so it will cost 67 dollars per month with this first package.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Luis. So guys, he already gave that spoiler. We are going to launch a poll right now. So the question will appear on your screen. All right. Basically, if you would like to implement Pipesign, and just tell us if you want to implement Pipesign but don't want to automate just yet, or if you want to implement and already want to automate. All right. It's no pressure at all. Just it's just that we are aware of what you want to explore regarding Pipesign. Okay, so we will reach out to you, understand your use case, understand how we can help you. All right. I also saw a question here related, and I'm sure that Luis already covered, but a question regarding the procedure to sign the document, right? So now we're moving on to our Q&A part, okay? So we have a couple of minutes until the end of the class here. So let me cover this question, and if you have any other questions, you can send it through here through our Q&A button as well, okay? So basically, we have here our documents, and the steps that I showed you was to create a new one, right? It also took a while because I was able to show you each and every option that you had and explain as well, right? But once you got the hang of it, once you've already explored Pipesign, that will be really rather quickly, all right? So here, for example, we have one document that was already sent, right? And like I said, you can also change, for example, fields. We can add other signatories as well. So I already sent this offer to Fernanda personal. I sent it to Luis as well, but it's not in this particular history, it's in the other one. So we can add other emails here, other people who will be able to sign this very same document. So we don't need to add the document every time, right? We can also change those advanced options that I showed you, right? So the appearance, the email, the reminders. So once you save the document, it's a lot easier to edit once it's done, right? And of course, once you add the new document, it will already be saved here. So you would only need to add the same document again if you had, for example, changes that you were not able to do here, right? Which I don't know what they would be, but here you can change the fields, you can change the signatories, of course, add those, right? And you can change the options as well, right? So it won't be this list with the same documents, okay? But if you do choose to automate it, so if you do choose to use this integration, you would only need to set up this recipe once, okay? So you wouldn't need to edit or add anything to this recipe by document or by card, all right? The main objective of this automation is that it will pick up the card ID, the document as well, based on what you need, and it would work, all right? So that is, of course, the automation that it proposes, okay? Let's see if you have another questions here. 1 second, guys. I'm reading the question here, right? Perfect. I think I understood William's question. So basically, yeah. So for integrations to have a contract template, the emails and names are just by Workato. So the template you can have here, right? Once you add a new document, you can have a document template here to follow, right? But what you add here, what you establish in Pipesign within the pipe, is basically transferred, is mirrored by the Workato automation, the integration as well, right? So this is why you need a token. It's basically a way, the word is integrate, but it's an automation through integration. Once you integrate Pipesign with this Workato tool, then you can do this automation in Pipefy itself. You don't need to edit a lot within Workato, only once, only to set it up. Okay. Luis, did you see any other questions that you haven't covered?
I just saw the Can one here. He asked about the restricted view pipe members access to the PDF feature on cards. I don't know which PDF feature you were talking about, Ken, but maybe it's the PDF generator fit. I don't know
I
if
think
you
so.
understood if Pipefy will ever allow restricted view pipe members access this PDF feature. I don't know if would do you know if it's
I
let
think
me
it's yeah, Ken, if you could let us know if we're wrong, if we misunderstood. I think it's the PDF generator. If you have the restricted view, the PDF button shows for admins and members, but not for restricted view members. Perfect, because the restricted view cannot edit the PDF, right? And when we have that field, the attachment, we cannot see it as well. Okay. So, Ken, you can message me here. Perhaps you can send me your use case, and perhaps I will have an alternative for you. If I don't have an alternative, I will send that feedback to our product team. All right. And it's good so that all of you have my email available as well. Okay. So Ken, if we do not have that in our roadmap, I will let you know. Okay. Because then it's a feedback that our product team will receive. It will just not be worked on right now because it won't be in our product roadmap. Okay. But I will let you know. I will definitely send you that answer. So guys, my email here is in the chat. So it's fernanda.cunha at pipefy.com. Okay, so if you have any other questions, if you also have any feedbacks regarding our product, just let me know, send it through there, and I will send you an answer. All right. I'm not sure. We do have another question in these last 2 minutes from William. I will see if I understood it correctly, William. If I didn't, you can also send me that question through the email, okay? So, a solution for the contract that cannot be generated, to add the variables, for example, the email, the names, and the date, right? So you don't need to use for example, the PDF generator or this document generator to add a document in Pipesign, right? It can be from your computer or you can use a template that you create yourself here, right? And the variables, that depends on the email that you put here, right? So again, let's go back here in our last few minutes, okay? I Let me go back to the one that I created. with you guys. This one. It's pending because, of course, was it this one? I think it was this one. It was, right? I don't think it loaded yet. The one that we created now. But either way, if I have, let's do another one here. You can see another example here. This is an invoice, right? So in this case, it's all done. So Lucas sent it to Lucas. This is a very common example, right? So Lucas has his name here, his email, his document, and a date here, right? So for example, his date of birth. So these are dynamic information because these are particularly Lucas's information. Luis has different ones, Fernanda has different ones, and we can use these informations to add in the document, right? But that depends on those who will be the signatories of each document, okay? So we can use the PDF generator, we can also use the document generator, but the dynamic information, that depends on each document's signatories, right? Because each document will have different people signing it, all right? All right, guys, I think that's it. I think we covered every question, okay? Just please send us, okay? If you have any other, I have my email here, okay? Um, I also just saw a final question by Ken. Does Pipesign have the ability to send contracts for signing by text/SMS or just by email? It does have the ability to send by text/SMS. It also has the ability to send it by link. It has, like, you can copy the link. It has the ability to send it through WhatsApp, all right? And that does not require integration or extra cost, okay? So again, I will send that recording to all of you, okay? And you will be able to also see the presentation, okay? And you will be able to revisit this as many times that you want. And of course, get the certificates that you can show it to your team, okay? Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope to see you all in our next masterclass. Thank you so much. Thank you, Luis.
Thank you. Thank you, Fê.
Bye,
Goodbye.
everyone.